Hi, my name is Peter Polanski, and first I just want to talk to you about my experience with chiropractic care. It began in 1993, actually. I was lifting a patio block up, and I turned, and I felt this excruciating pain in my back, and I fell right to my knees. Well, needless to say, I went for chiropractic care. My sister said to me, "Pete, sounds like you slipped a disc." Sure enough, I went to a chiropractor here in Southington, Connecticut, who took x-rays and said that I slipped my L4, L5, I believe, in between there. And he told me that for the rest of my life, I'll never be the same because it's like a six-pack of Coke or beer. That once you pull it out of the rings, those plastic rings, it'll never be the same. And I had about maybe 2 or 3 weeks of treatments, and I felt that I was cured. And then I was exercising and basically living a normal life. And then I was really good until about 2003. And all I did one day, I was flipping a sheet over my bed. And boom, I felt it. Somebody like stabbing me in the back. So, talked to a friend who recommended a different chiropractor, and I went there. They took x-rays, and then this chiropractor was in Southington too. And they took x-rays, and again, they said I slipped my L4, L5, and I went for about 3 weeks of treatment. Although this particular chiropractor's treatment was a little bit more, I don't want to say harsh or severe than the last chiropractor I went to. But nevertheless, it worked for me. It really helped me a lot. Then in about 2006, I started limping, and I felt some pain in my leg. So I was working in Hartford at the time, so I decided to go to a chiropractor, again through a friend at work who told me to go to this chiropractor in Glastonbury. And she took x-rays, and she said yes, it was my L4, L5. But I just felt that she kind of really rushed the interview process. But nevertheless, I was going to her. And actually I went about 2 years. And then after 2 years, I really wasn't getting any better. And my legs seemed to be hurting more. And she was saying it could be sciatica. And I don't know, I just wasn't happy. And then on my way home one day, I'm coming down Queen Street, and I go by the Raya clinic. And I says, you know what, let me try the Raya clinic. Well, let me tell you something, that was the best decision I ever made. On the very first visit, I'll never forget this. Dr. Raya came in, took x-rays, and she says to me, she comes back in and she says, Peter, she goes, I'd love to help you, but I can't help you. She goes, you have a problem with your back, but that's not what's causing your pain. She said, you need a hip replacement. I freaked out. I was like, what do you mean a hip replacement? She goes, yep, here, and she showed me the x-ray, sure enough. And then she told me to go see a doctor, Dr. John Keggy. And I'll tell you something, that was the best advice I ever received, because that's a whole nother story. I had the best experience with Dr. John Keggy. So I went, I had a hip replacement, I came back, and Dr. Raya worked on me. I felt a little bit better, and started going on with my life again. Then, I forgot to mention, Dr. Keggy told me that it was my right hip that needed to be replaced, and eventually my left one would too, which Dr. Raya said was my right one that was really in trouble. So a year goes by, and I start feeling my other hip. Well, this time I didn't wait. I says, okay, schedule me for the hip replacement. So I went for the hip replacement, came out of that, flying colors, started exercising, do things again. And then I noticed my leg just felt a little bit shorter, and my back was aching me a bit. So I came back to Dr. Raya, and the clinic helped me again. She suggested a lift for my shoe, and did some more treatments on me, and I felt pretty good. Well, as the year went by, I noticed my leg getting shorter and shorter. In fact, I went and I had a special shoe made because it was getting shorter. So I decided to go back to Dr. Keggy. Dr. Keggy looked at it, took x-rays, and said to me, that unfortunately the pin settled in my leg a little bit further than they anticipated. He said we could do that with corrective surgery. So back in March of 2014, I went back and I had the pin replaced in my hip. Came out of that, again, flying colors. Was doing really well up until the week before 4th of July. I went to a friend's house to help him paint his house. And I was afraid to climb the ladder because I just had the hip replacement. So I did all lower painting for 2 days. On the third day, I went to get up to get out of bed. All I did was turn the covers and twist, and boom, I slipped my L4, L5 again. I just felt it. I knew it by this point. A friend from my parish suggested I go to his chiropractor, which was in Cheshire. So I went to that chiropractor. Again, the treatments that I received there were okay, but to me they seemed a little harsh. After going there 3 weeks with little to almost no improvement, I decided to come back to the Raya Clinic. Again, it's one of the best decisions I made. Right from the very beginning, when you walk into the Raya Clinic, you feel at home, especially because of 2 people, Jessica and Caitlin. Seriously, they make me feel so welcome, so at home. It's just an easy feeling when you walk in. And I've had Dr. Marcus work on me since then. Dr. Marcus worked on me. Within the first week, I want to say I was almost completely healed. However, I know that it takes time. So over a period of a couple of months, I kept coming back. And each time I came back, I walked out of here feeling lighter than air. And to this day, I still come back. Not as often, because thank God I don't have to. But I do realize I can feel it in my body when something is not falling into place. I come in, and again, first, I get treated with respect. And Dr. Marcus, I keep saying this, he has magic hands. He really knows how to manipulate the bones and the muscles in my body to alleviate and to fix whatever's bothering me. I also would like to say that not only does the Raya Clinic make you feel at home, they accommodate you in many ways. If I call and say, I need to come in, oh sure Pete, can you come in a half hour? If I needed to cancel an appointment, no problem Pete, we'll take care of it. The Raya Clinic has been very accommodating to me over the years, and I want to thank them very much for everything that they have done for me. Thank you.